Hey there, fantasy owners. LTC Fantasy here. Not sure if you're chiming in watching via YouTube or listening via podcast, but really do appreciate the watch or listen no matter how you're streaming the episode. Before we get started, do want to mention we do have a partnership with 247clash.com. Link is down in the description there. It's basically a pools type player versus player fantasy style game that's pretty much made winnable for anyone there. So if you do decide to go to www.247clash.com, at the top of the homepage, you'll see a how to play link there. It's a short video, about 50 seconds long, that explains the game a little bit better than I can there. And if you do decide to sign up and make a deposit, do use referral code LTC, as that does help our show behind the scenes there. And hopefully you start winning some cash there. Do note it is for Canadian residents only at this time. Might change in the future, but for right now, it is for Canadian residents only there. So today's our Week 22 midweek waiver wire episodes. We're going to look at some players that are either on hot streaks or gaining some opportunity due to injuries to hopefully help your roster, not only for this week, but future weeks as well. Not too many weeks left here, but hopefully help you out for a few weeks there. So basically, we'll get right into it. Some goaltenders to look at this week. First one's Philip Grubauer from Seattle there, owned in 41% of Yahoo leagues. He started 7 of the last 9 games, and out of those 7 starts, he has 4 W's in there. So he is getting starts. He's been a bit up and down of late last couple of games. He's had a couple of hiccups there, but he is a better option than 2 goalies in Seattle right now. So he could be an okay third option as a depth move for you. Next one's over in LA. Look at Phoenix Copley. Owned in 51% of Yahoo leagues. He's won 3 of his last 4 starts there, so he is still getting you wins there. He is splitting the crease of late with Korpisalo, but winning 3 out of 4, at least when he is in there, if you spot start him, could be working out for you in your favor with him still getting some wins there. Next one is Mads Sogard from Ottawa there, owned in 15% of Yahoo leagues. He started 3 of 4 since Talbot's went down with injury again. He seems to be getting hurt quite a few times this year. He was a little shaky the last few, but in a deep league, he will get you starts and could work out for you as a deeper option. Last one's old goalie over in LA. Look at Jonathan Quick, possibly, owned in 55% of Yahoo leagues. Playing with Vegas now. He's won 3 in a row with 1 shutout in there. So he's playing well and starting to take over the crease. Should be an excellent third option. Vegas is a pretty strong squad playing in front of him there, so could really work out in your favor. Before we get into the next segment, do want to ask, if you haven't subscribed to this channel, please do so. We're trying to grow it. Hopefully you're getting some value out of these episodes, helping you secure some victories in your league there. And yeah, that's my own little personal plug, and we'll get into defensemen now. First one's over in Pittsburgh. Possibly look at Jeff Petry, owned in 57% of Yahoo leagues, playing second pairing, second power play unit there, and he has 9 points his last 12 games. And in those 12 games, he has 30 shots on goal, 48 hits, so throwing the body around. Also 18 blocks, nice amount of blocks there. He's chipping in most categories there, so it'll be a very solid depth add if he's available for a Cats league. Next one is his D partner, Marcus Pettersson in Pittsburgh, owned in 7% of Yahoo leagues, playing second pairing there. He has 9 points his last 9 games. I'm recording this on Tuesday. Pretty sure he got an assist on one of the goals there. Also in those 9 games, he has 23 hits and 17 blocks in there. He's had a recent surge in offense, getting another one tonight there, so 10 points in 10 games there. He gets you a steady amount of hits and blocks. Offense might fall off a bit, but he could provide depth in a deeper Cats league for sure. Over in Carolina, maybe look at Shane Gostisbehere, owned in 59% of Yahoo leagues, playing third pairing, second power play unit there, and he has 4 points in his last 6 games. All 4 of those points have been on the power play there, and 12 shots on goal in those 6 games. He's been hot and cold since joining Carolina, but when he's hot, he's really hot there. But Carolina is a strong team. They will pot some goals there, so he could help you out in some scoring leagues. Over in Colorado, look at Samuel Girard, owned in 25% of Yahoo leagues, playing second pairing, second power play unit, and he has 7 points his last 7 games. Couple points on the power play there. 14 shots on goal and 10 blocks in those 7 games. He's been good for about a month or so now, so he's been nice amount of runway, and he should be a nice depth add in most formats for you. Going back to Carolina, maybe look at Jacob Slavin, owned in 23% of Yahoo leagues, playing top pairing, and he has 5 points in his last 8 games. Believe he also got a goal tonight, not 100% sure on that. And in those 8 games, he has 22 shots on goal and 10 blocks in there. He's been steady the last little bit here, kind of showing a little bit of his form from last season. So he could be an alright depth add in deeper leagues. Over in Washington, look at Rasmus Sandin, owned in 42% of Yahoo leagues, playing top pairing, top power play unit there. He has 8 points in just his last 4 games, plus 6 in those 4 games with 2 power play points, 8 hits, and 4 blocks. He's getting a ton of opportunities since joining the Capitals there. A little bit with, well, a lot to do with injuries with Karlsson out, other depth moves. But he's also playing in a lot better role there. So if he's available, he'll be a very good ad for you going forward. Over in LA, look at Matt Roy. Owned in 9% of Yahoo leagues, playing second pairing there. He has 4 points his last 5 games. In those 5 games, he's also plus 5, has 9 shots on goal, 6 hits, and 8 blocks. So he's on a nice little run of late, chipping into most categories there. So he could help in your deeper Cats leagues if needed. Over in Montreal, maybe look at Michael Matheson, owned in 34% of Yahoo leagues, playing top pairing, top power play unit, and he has 8 points his last 11 games. Nice amount of offense there, plus 4 in those 11 games. Plus 4 is pretty good in Montreal. It's been a little bit of a rough season there. In those 11 games, also 33 shots on goal, 11 hits, and 20 blocks. He's been fairly steady. There's not much else to say about that, so he should be a pretty good depth add moving forward. Over in Jersey, maybe look at Damon Severson, owned in 17% of Yahoo leagues, playing third pairing, second power play unit. He has 5 points his last 7 games, with a couple power play points, 12 blocks in those 7 games there. So he's seeing an uptick in offense, and with that, with getting some blocks in that, he could provide some depth in deeper formats. Over in Edmonton, maybe look at Evan Bouchard, up to 60% owned, playing second pairing, up on that top power play unit there. He has 6 points his last 4 games, couple points on the power play, and 10 shots on goal, starting to shoot the puck more. With Barry gone, he's been producing because he's getting that extra power play time, and he should be a great add in scoring leagues if he is available. Over in Arizona, maybe look at Juuso Välimäki, owned in 10% of Yahoo leagues, playing top pairing, top power play unit, and he has 6 points his last 7 games. And in those 7 games, also has 21 blocks in there, averaging 3 blocks a game. That's really nice amount there. His points came in 3 2-point games there, so he is a little bit hot and cold, but when he does get points, it seems to be in bunches there. So if you hold on to him long enough, you know you're going to get some value. Gets a nice amount of blocks, so you could bring value in some deeper formats where you can afford to hold on to him a little bit longer. Last one's over in Columbus. Maybe look at Adam Boquist, owned in 8% of Yahoo leagues, playing third pairing, top power play unit. He has 8 points his last 11 games. Half of those points, 4 are on the power play there, 17 blocks in there. He gets a decent amount of offense, and he is on that top power play unit, so he definitely gets opportunity. So he could provide some depth in deeper scoring leagues. Now we'll move along to some forwards. First one off the list, look at Jared McCann in Seattle, listed as center left winger, owned in 55% of Yahoo leagues, playing top line, top power play unit there. He has 12 points his last 10 games. In those 10 games, he's plus 6, has 3 power play points, 33 shots on goal, definitely fires pucks on net, and 5 blocks in there. He's been really good, there's not much else to say, and basically grab him if he is available for you. Over in Arizona, look at Nick Schmaltz, listed as center right winger, owned in 37% of Yahoo leagues, playing top line, top power play unit there. And he has 11 points his last 10 games, 3 points on the power play. And in those 10 games, 19 shots on goal and 6 blocks. He is day-to-day with a lower body injury, so do check his status before you do decide to add him. But he's had a good season, and if he is healthy, he'll be a very good add for you. Next one is Alex Killorn over in Tampa there, listed as left winger, right winger, owned in 32% of Yahoo leagues, playing second line, top power play unit. He's put up 8 points the last 7 games, has at least 1 point tonight. Of those 8 points, 3 have been on the power play, and in those 7 games, he's also had 20 shots on goal and 7 hits in there. So decent in some other cats too. He's been really good the last little bit, and he's been bumped up to the top power play unit, which is pretty deadly in Tampa there, so it would be a nice depth add going forward. Over in Washington, maybe look at TJ Oshie, listed as center right winger, owned in 34% of Yahoo leagues, playing third line, top power play unit for the Capitals there, and he has 10 points his last 8 games. Also, 3 of those 10 points have been on the power play. 15 shots on goal and 18 hits in those 8 games there. So he's been really good the last few weeks there, and he should be a decent depth add in most formats there. Another one in Washington, maybe look at Dylan Strome, also listed as center right winger, only owned in 19% of Yahoo leagues. He's playing third line, second power play unit. He's hot right now, 7 points in a 4-game point streak. In those 4 games, he's +7, 7 shots on goal, and 3 blocks. He's hot right now and should be a decent depth add in your deeper leagues. Over in Pittsburgh, look at Jason Zucker, listed as a left winger, owned in 28% of Yahoo leagues, playing second line, second power play unit, and he has 9 goals in just his last 8 games there. In those 8 games, he has 30 shots on goal, go figure, you got to shoot to score, and 15 hits in there. He's been filling the net the last little while there, and been really good. He'll be a nice depth add down the stretch for sure. Over in Buffalo, look at Dylan Cousins, listed as a center, owned in 63% of Yahoo leagues. He plays second line, top power play unit, and he has 9 points his last 9 games. And in those 9 games, he has 31 shots on goal and 6 blocks in there. Overall, he's had a really good season there, and should be a very good add if he is available for you. Going back to New Jersey, maybe look at Eric Holla, listed as center left winger, owned in 16% of Yahoo leagues, playing third line, second power play unit, and he has 7 points his last 7 games. 4 of those 7 points have been on the power play, so really nice power play production of late. 13 shots on goal and 8 hits. He's on a nice little run right now. He's been streaky this year, but he should be an okay add in your deeper leagues. Over in St. Louis, possibly look at Robert Thomas, listed as center right winger, owned in 54% of Yahoo leagues, playing top line, top power play unit, and he has 7 points in a 5-game point streak with 9 shots on goal, also 49 face-off wins. He's really taken over, getting some face-off wins with O'Reilly gone. So he's getting points, and he'll help you in scoring leagues, possibly some other formats that do count face-off wins if he is available there. Going back to Seattle, maybe look at Jaden Schwartz, listed as a left winger, owned in 5% of Yahoo leagues, playing second line, second power play unit there. And he has 7 points his last 7 games with 17 shots on goal there. He's been a bit hit or miss this season, but he is playing better and could add depth in your deeper leagues. Over in Vancouver, maybe look at Andrei Kuzmenko, listed as left winger, right winger, owned in 56% of Yahoo leagues, playing top line, top power play unit there, and he has 15 points in his last 12 games. Couple on the power play, also shooting the puck more, 28 shots on goal in those 12 games. He can definitely get you points, there's no denying that. He's had a couple blips on the radar, but overall really nice offensive numbers there, so grab him if he is available for you. Columbus, look at Jack Roslovich, listed as a center, owned in 4% of Yahoo leagues, playing third line, second power play unit. He's put up 8 points the last 11 games with 22 shots on goal, 10 blocks in there. Really nice amount of blocks for a forward there. He's been a bit up and down, but in real deep leagues, he could provide some depth for you. Over in Arizona, maybe look at Barrett Hayton, listed as a center, owned in 7% of Yahoo leagues. He plays top line for the Coyotes' top power play unit, and he currently has 8 points in a 4-game point streak, so really nice production. 3 of those 8 points have been on the power play. Also has 13 shots on goal in those 4 games. He's been really hot at the moment there, and he's been on that top line for a while, so in a really deep league, he could add some pretty nice depth for you. Over in Dallas, maybe look at Wyatt Johnston, listed as a center, only owned in 2% of Yahoo leagues, playing second line, second power play unit. He's put up 8 points the last 9 games, and in those 9 games, he's +6, potted a point on the power play, and 20 shots on goal. He's providing some secondary scoring for Dallas. They're pretty top line heavy, and if that continues, he should be able to provide some depth down the stretch for you. Over in Washington, maybe look at Sonny Milano, listed as left winger, right winger, owned in 1% of Yahoo leagues, playing second line. I've seen him some listed second line, some third line. We'll go with second line, second power play unit, and he has 6 points the last 7 games. He's a little streaky, but in the top 6 and could help in deeper scoring leagues. Back in Dallas, maybe look at Mason Marchment, listed as left winger, right winger, owned in 13% of Yahoo leagues, playing second line, second power play unit, and he has 6 points in just his last 5 games. And in those 5 games, he has 12 shots on goal, 6 hits, and 8 blocks. He's on a nice little roll right now and could provide depth in your deeper leagues. Over in Chicago, maybe look at Andreas Antonescu, listed as left winger, right winger, owned in 5% of Yahoo leagues, playing top line, top power play unit. He's put up 6 points the last 8 games, and in those 8 games also provided 4 blocks, so chipping in a little bit elsewhere. He's getting opportunity with a depleted lineup there, and should be an okay depth add in your real deep leagues. Going back to Seattle, look at Eli Tovanen, listed as left winger, right winger, owned in 8% of Yahoo leagues, playing third line up on the top power play unit, and he has 7 points the last 8 games. In those 8 games, couple points on the power play, 18 shots on goal, 9 hits, and 4 blocks there. He's a little streaky, but he provides in most categories there, so he should be a decent depth piece in a deeper Cats league for you. Over in Anaheim, maybe look at Mason McTavish, listed as center left winger, owned in 22% of Yahoo leagues, playing second line, top power play unit, and he has 8 points in his last 7 games there. He's been heating back up, and he should be an alright depth piece in your scoring leagues for you. Going over to LA, maybe look at Gabriel Velarde, listed as left winger, right winger, owned in 19% of Yahoo leagues. He's playing third line, second power play unit, and he has 6 points his last 6 games. And in those 6 games, he's +4, has 12 shots on goal and 3 blocks in there. He's on a nice run there. He seems to be heating back up and should provide value in deeper formats. Over in Vancouver, maybe look at Anthony Beauvillier, listed as left winger, right winger, owned in 17% of Yahoo leagues, playing top line, top power play unit there. He's put up 10 points the last 11 games, and in those 11 games has 27 shots on goal. He's been good since coming over from the Islanders there, and should provide depth going forward for you. Over in Florida, look at Eetu Luostarinen, listed as center left winger, owned in 13% of Yahoo leagues, playing on the top line for Florida there, and he has 11 points the last 12 games, and in those 12 games has 26 shots on goal, 8 blocks, so that's a pretty nice block number for you. He's been decent on the top line and should continue during the last stretch here, so should provide some nice depth in your deeper leagues, of course. Over in Carolina, possibly look at Teuvo Teravainen, listed as left winger, right winger, owned in 57% of Yahoo leagues, playing second line, top power play unit there, and he has 5 points his last 7 games, a couple of those on the power play, 13 shots on goal in those 7 games. He's been a down year, but he's still decent overall offensively there, so he could help in a scoring league. Last one's over in Washington. Maybe look at Tom Wilson, listed as a right winger, owned in 43% of Yahoo leagues, playing top line, second power play unit there, and he's put up 7 points the last 10 games, and in those 10 games has 22 shots on goal, 25 hits, we definitely know he throws a body, 6 blocks in those 10 games there. So he's been decent in most Cats there the last while, and will provide depth in a Cats league for you. That's it for today's episode. If you're watching via YouTube, please remember to hit like, hit subscribe. Remember to hit that notification bell. If you're listening via podcast, please give us a 5-star review, as that helps get the word out about this podcast there. And don't forget to check out www.247clash.com. If you do sign up, use referral code LTC. That'll help us out behind the scenes there. And good luck. We're getting down to the crunch time there. Some leagues have already started playoffs, so good luck and hope you win her all.